Tonight we're starting with an event that caught almost everyone by surprise. Not because it was loud or flashy, but because it happened incredibly fast and in total secrecy. In less than one day, Ukrainian forces located, confirmed, and successfully neutralized a high-value Russian underground facility that had only just become active. This wasn't a random warehouse or fuel depot. This was a deeply buried command node that Moscow had spent months trying to keep off every radar screen and satellite map. When Ukraine hit it, they didn't just damage concrete and steel, they removed a major piece from Russia's backup leadership network. And they did it before anyone in that facility had time to finish their coffee. For a long time. Observers have noticed that Russian leaders never put all their eggs in one basket when it comes to command and control. Primary headquarters get too much attention. So secondary and even tertiary sites are built far from the front lines. Often under the cover of night, civilian construction projects or fake logistics bases. Western and Ukrainian analysts watch for the classic signs: unusual nighttime truck convoys, sudden deliveries of specialized building materials, new electronic jamming towers popping up in quiet areas, and senior officers quietly disappearing from their normal routines. Earlier this year, a lot of those indicators suddenly stopped. The silence itself became the clue. When the usual noise goes away, it usually means something big is being hidden. Satellite pictures started showing strange activity at a location inside occupied territory that had never attracted much interest before. Heavy equipment arrived after dark, earth was moved, and then everything went quiet again. The site basically vanished from normal monitoring patterns. That kind of deliberate blackout is exactly what intelligence teams look for when hunting the most sensitive targets. Early Tuesday, Ukrainian electronic intelligence units picked up something unusual: short, powerful encrypted radio bursts coming from that same quiet area. Signals that hadn't been heard there in over a year. Those specific waveforms are normally reserved for top-level coordination. It's the kind used when very senior people are giving or receiving direct orders. Once that traffic was confirmed, the pieces fell into place fast. Working with partner intelligence services, Ukraine concluded they had found a brand new alternate command center, one designed to take over if main headquarters ever went offline. The decision to strike wasn't taken lightly. But it also wasn't delayed. Leadership in Kyiv understood that once the facility was fully staffed and linked into the broader network, the window would close. Within hours of positive identification, a carefully prepared strike package was launched. Long-range drones, precision-guided missiles, and specialized munitions capable of penetrating reinforced underground structures were all sent in at the same time. The attack focused on the main access points, air intake shafts, power lines, and antenna farms, everything needed to keep a buried headquarters alive and connected. Ukrainian officials later confirmed the primary target was heavily damaged and is no longer able to perform its intended role. Secondary explosions recorded by seismic sensors and drone footage suggest that internal equipment and stored supplies added to the destruction. Perhaps most importantly, the strike happened so quickly that personnel inside had little time to relocate or shift operations elsewhere. What makes this operation stand out is the speed and coordination. While the main strike was going in, other Ukrainian units created diversions along nearby roads. Electronic warfare teams jammed Russian reaction forces, and air defense crews kept Russian helicopters at a safe distance. It was a textbook example of different capabilities working together toward one clear objective. Analysts believe Russia activated this particular site partly to test whether their new hiding techniques were working. In other words, Moscow wanted to see if anyone was still watching. The answer came in the form of missiles arriving overhead just hours later. That rapid reaction shows that Ukrainian intelligence, supported by Western technology and shared data, can still track even the most carefully concealed projects. Inside Russia, moments like this create real pressure. Different groups, military commanders, political hardliners, business leaders, and regional officials all have their own ideas about what should happen next. A highly visible intelligence failure on this scale forces difficult conversations in Moscow about how safe any alternate facility really is, and whether the current approach to command security still works. From the Ukrainian side, President Zelensky spoke to the nation tonight and kept his message simple and direct. His forces will continue to find and neutralize threats wherever they appear, no matter how deeply they are buried. It was a statement meant both for his own people and for anyone on the Russian side who thought distance or concrete could guarantee safety. At the same time, activity didn't stop with this single target. Over the past day, Ukrainian drones have been spotted in new patterns over the Black Sea. Electronic interference has increased around Crimea, and several Russian Rereria supply nodes reported brief but sharp disruptions. When multiple kinds of pressure appear at once, it usually signals that a larger plan is in motion. Military observers are now discussing what might come next. Some believe Ukraine is clearing obstacles ahead of its own summer operations. Others think the goal is to keep Russian forces reactive and off balance. A third view is that Kyiv is showing Western partners that continued support produces measurable, high-impact results on the battlefield, whatever the exact motive. One thing is now obvious: backup command centers that took months to build can be taken out of play in less than a day when intelligence and firepower line up perfectly. That reality changes calculations on both sides of the front line. We're keeping a close eye on Russian communications and troop movements in the coming hours and days. Early indications show units in that sector switching to reserve frequencies and fallback procedures. A clear sign that normal command links were at least temporarily disrupted. This story is still developing, and new details will surface as both sides assess what happened and what it means for the weeks ahead. One chapter has definitely closed tonight. The idea that any underground facility is automatically beyond reach is no longer valid. Safe call to action F. You want to stay updated on major developments like this as soon as confirmed information becomes available. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss an update. Drop a like if you found this breakdown helpful. And let us know in the comments which part of today's events you think will have the biggest long-term impact. More videos coming soon. Stay safe and see you in the next one.